I'm treating you to my famous vegan brownies.
Smells great. Awesome.
You'll be sad you didn't come over sooner. I'm on a baking kick.
Yeah. You got like a little oven or?
Yeah, I have a nice oven.
Yeah.
I have a nice
Okay,
one.
stop calling it nice. He said it right, little.
We don't talk badly about the oven.
What does it matter?
Taobao.
It works. It was
I love
Taobao.
Taobao. Yeah.
What, you don't buy anything on
Oh,
Taobao?
we do, but not as much stuff as you guys have from Taobao.
Taobao.
Dude.
We buy, we buy quite a few things from Taobao. The odds and ends.
Odds and ends.
Yeah.
No, we buy it all.
You gotta buy it all on Taobao. You know what?
It's
Honestly,
actually cheaper.
look, it's actually cheaper to buy some like food items, like things that you would buy at the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to buy it on Taobao and have it shipped and have it come right downstairs or right to the hive than it is to go to Eon, which is right there, and buy it there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking to Racer about like chickpeas. We can't get chickpeas here at all.
Yes, you
Like,
can.
Taobao.
Taobao.
Taobao, yeah. But in the supermarket. So she was saying she buys hers from Taobao. It's
Yeah.
You get 10 cans, and it's like $7 a can, cheaper than even Guangzhou, the supermarket near the metro or whatever. So, like, we've never bought food from Taobao.
Oh, buy it.
But she's saying, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
do that.
Absolutely.
I have like a list of links.
Yeah.
So, like the tortillas are like the wrap things.
Oh, yeah.
At Eon, they were really expensive. They were like 68 yuan for one pack of 8
Yeah.
or 6. But I could get them for 10 yuan
Yeah.
on Taobao.
Seems like we're advertising, doing a lot of Taobao advertising.
Yeah. But, it's when you live in this culture and you, like our first 2 years here, we barely used it at all. And then we moved to Thailand, and when we came back, Aaron got an account,
Yeah.
and it was over.
Yeah.
But now we can get the chickpeas, so I can make hummus, and I can make, different curries, and I can make Mexican food because I can get the beans I need and the tortillas, and we get tired of the same thing all the time. And because Aaron's vegan, he really gets the same thing every day.
Yeah.
What'd you make?
Yeah.
Vegetables and rice.
And
Tofu, vegetables.
you use Taobao, like you get Chinese help with or you just use it all in English?
No, because on my VPN it translates.
Translates everything.
So then I just send him a link and tell him how many of what I want, and then he orders it however he does it. I don't have a Taobao account for very good reason.
Because we had our assistant Nevis, our Chinese assistant. He was great. He's gone now. He's in Guangzhou, but he used to do the bit of research for us and find the reviews. Because they have the reviews in Chinese of which company is good and gives 5 out of 5 or whatever. So he helped us.
There's an easy way to tell. There's little hearts and diamonds and crowns.
Symbols that tell you.
That's how we know.
Because Suvina's bought quite a few things, like decorations and stuff like that, and bits and pieces.
You get everything.
But I haven't bought anything. I haven't bought major people like you guys bought electronics. We're talking 3,000, 4,000 renminbi.
This?
Yeah.
No. 12.
You're 15. You're
15.
So I haven't made those type of purchases before.
Yeah, Aaron's laptop was 15, and that was with a 3,000 discount.
Right.
Yeah. We bought like bed linen and stuff. We've only been disappointed once, and that was on the bed linen. Like it looks nice in the picture, but we were amateur. It was amateur hour. It was the first time we were using Taobao, and it was like very small, it was very thin cotton, and bad quality at work. But I was thinking about buying some cameras and stuff.
Cameras, if you know exactly what you want and you know what it is.
You've done your research.
But you know what it is in the box.
Yeah.
So how does the camera come? If you know that, you can buy a camera on Taobao, no problem.
Yeah, my only concern would be that it was like what we talked about, like copied or pirated.
No,
That
there's certain things.
happen.
Well, there's certain things that you're not going to be able to copy.
Yeah.
A Canon camera needs to be a Canon camera. They can't copy a Canon camera. Right. But if it's a knockoff brand of something, then you never know what you're going to get.
Nike shoes or something.
Like my shoes.
Yeah.
I told you, like my shoes.
Yeah.
Right. But when if you're buying a name brand thing, a lot of the stores, they need to have a good reputation in order to have the high, heart, crown count that they have. All right, so in order to have that, they can't waste their time with doing dumb shit with, I'm gonna put a knockoff out there. It's usually those are the people that are in the 1 heart range or whatever. They just have a thing and they just want to sell it on Taobao. But if you're at a store, like a place that's an actual store, you're pretty safe with anything. I don't care what it is. Like this thing, the thing that our microphone's going to. Normally you'd have to go to a pro audio place in order to get something like that. Taobao, I knew what I wanted. I looked for the name and then I looked for the best price and
sometimes a good trick, if you can't find what you're looking for in English, translate it and put it in Chinese.
Right. More things come up.
Yes, and they're cheaper.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
We've had that experience,
Yeah.
Where I searched
what it
something
is,
in
but
English
yes.
and then I got my assistant searching Chinese and say, mate, I found you one better.
Yeah.
Way cheaper.
Like popcorn. If you put in popcorn in English, you're going to get only microwave popcorn and it's going to be super expensive. But then if you go in and put it in Chinese, then you get the kernels.
Yeah.
And then you get them for cheap.
But
And,
probably a lot more selection of different companies.
And sometimes they'll be like 200 kilos for like 200 yuan. You're like, who in the heck needs 200 kilos of popcorn?
Apparently you do.
I didn't know.
I carried it back
You eat a
here.
lot of popcorn?
We do eat a lot of popcorn. But we tried to order popcorn last year.
The ones in the microwave one?
No, we don't own a
We
microwave.
don't have a microwave.
I make it on the stove.
Oh, okay.
Old school.
But they told us that because it was coming from like the Beijing area, the north, that they wouldn't send it because it was too cold to send popcorn.
It's unusual.
Because it was cold, we couldn't eat it, so they couldn't send it.
That's,
I love how China likes to tell other people what they can.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Very
But
good.
that's
Very good.
normal. That's China.
yeah.
That is
too cold. You shouldn't be eating popcorn.
You can't get in the pool at 88 degrees.
Right.
You can't
Right,
get
it was
cold
it
water.
was like 42 degrees outside,
Yeah.
and the pool was closed
Yeah.
because
Celsius.
yes, 42 Celsius.
28, 20 degrees.
No.
42 Celsius.
Degree. Oh, sorry, it's 42
Yeah.
degrees Celsius. Okay,
Yeah.
that's roasting.
It was hot.
Yeah.
And
Very hot.
they closed the pool because
Wow.
it was after Mid-Autumn Festival.
Right.
There's no
And
water.
after Mid-Autumn Festival,
It's like
means
that's
you
like
don't swim
desert
anymore.
desert heat.
That's
That's
San
crazy.
Shui heat.
That's insane.
You weren't here for the summer, were you?
No.
Oh God, it was
No,
hot.
we were in
Oh, that was
Malaysia.
hot.
But it's hot in Malaysia.
Malaysia, well,
Yeah, but we have
Human.
pools that stay open.
we
There's no stupidity. Like when you
We
buy
were
an
at a-
apartment, the apartment's got tiles and it's got a toilet and it's got pipes in them. Only when we first came to China and we moved to our apartment that we actually saw a unit and it was an empty unit. And that's how they sell houses here. And I did not know that until we moved into our place because they were drilling and there was so much noise.
What do you mean by empty?
It's like
What
when you
wasn't
buy-
there?
It's just the shell.
Yeah,
What
it's a
wasn't
shell.
there?
There's no toilet, there's no piping, nothing is done. It's just nothing. Like no
Gray-
pipe. Yeah.
Gray
Just a
concrete.
building with no
Yeah,
inside.
it's just pure concrete. That's it.
Why did they put you in there?
No. It's happening like around us because then
Oh.
we started wondering how come people were buying in tiles and we thought it was just renovations, and stuff like that. And then we asked Nevis and they said, no, this is how it's done. So you buy a unit, but it's completely empty. There's nothing in it. It's just concrete with cement. And people have to buy the tiles. People have to buy pipes. People have to buy the toilet bowl. And they fix everything in from scratch. And that's why the construction took forever and there was so much drilling. And then the unit upstairs, because they were worried about their piping and whether there was any leakage, they would have to come to our unit just to make sure everything was running well and so there was no leakage on our side. So I'm like, okay.
This
And
was
that's
your
how they
first
do
time
it.
in China, or your first time here?
Well, the first time in
North?
Sanctuary here with this new unit, because every other unit was always properly built up.
Yeah.
It was an older unit. This was we were the first tenants in that building, and it's still quite empty, And so people were buying up units, and that's when we learned. I'm like, oh my goodness, You can buy a house in Malaysia, and you've got your toilets, your plumbing is already in, and stuff like that. People only do big work like renovation because they don't like the tiles, so they,
Right.
if they want
That's
to
how
change
we
the design. But you can move into a house because you've got a kitchen sink, you've got a toilet bowl, and you can flush a toilet. You can't do that here in China.
And maybe appliances.
Yeah, the basic ones are already
Kitchen
in. Yeah.
appliances.
Yeah. It's all basically in, and only in China. So you spend like, what, $500,000 just buying a shell, and then it's another 200, 300 actually fitting all this in, and toilet bowl shopping kind of thing. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so Nevis and us had this discussion because it was like, nah, it's like people, you can buy a house and there's stuff in it.
Shit, when we left, my cousin bought our house, but if somebody else just bought our house, they had an entire
Little
house.
Yeah.
I mean, you bring in your bed,
Yeah. But
your
you can
furniture.
Yeah.
But outside of that, everything else is
There.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
And usually you don't buy the house if it's not there.
Exactly.
Because you can't move in.
I'm not going to buy an empty house.
Yeah.
Right, you're not going to buy.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that, you're just expecting that you want to put more money into it and make it your own.
Yeah, and change
Well,
the whole design.
Sometimes, like the appliances won't be there. There won't be a stove
Well,
or
it
a
depends.
refrigerator.
There might be.
Sometimes they aren't. It depends on like how expensive the house is or the area, but
you'd still have the plumbing all done, right?
Yeah,
It's like
usually.
kitchen
Plumbing.
sink
Okay, plumbing is.
and toilet.
Well,
and
okay.
Sink and
you can't.
Honestly,
The light-
if the
the
plumbing
wiring
is not
would be
done in a building like this,
yeah.
that's a major reconstruction of the space because you have to now dig down into concrete.
Yeah.
But for us, if the plumbing is not done, it's all stick-built homes. So you're talking about wood, a hole,
Yeah.
drill, put a pipe.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about plumbing runs like in our basement. You know, the plumbing runs across joists. I mean, it's not a big deal
Right.
to have plumbing in your home. But here, I mean, if you wanted to put it, say, make this area a bathroom. If you wanted to actually make a spot in this kind of environment a bathroom, you'd be screwed. And you'd have to literally, like what we always hear, jackhammers on the floor,
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
because they have to dig down into
Yes.
concrete.
Yeah.
I'm always worried because we hear these giant drills and you can feel them. You know, the sofa's moving or the chair is moving, and
Rattling.
I'm
And the
always
cracks.
worried. I'm always worried they're going to come through.
Yeah.
Like there was one morning, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and my bed was shaking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to come through.
Yeah.
Because they were so, I could feel it in the headboard. I could feel it in the wall.
Right.
I'm like, I have to move because they're going to come through the wall.
Yeah. Because ours was a brand new unit and no one was upstairs. So once they started working on the unit, cracks started to appear in the hall, at the side.
Yep.
And then our landlord actually moved the kitchen and the bedroom. She swapped it. So you've actually got the outline of the door. And once they started drilling, you could actually see where the door used
We
to
have
be.
that in our room. We have an outline of a door.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous. It's like whatever, and then they would come down because Nevis would say the landlord, the people upstairs want to come down. So the guy would come in and he'd do testing. He'd pull, like he'll be calling the guy upstairs. And at one point, something went wrong because the door near the wall it started leaking, and there was some sort of leakage, and there was just like a water stain. And so over the holiday, somebody had to come in and fix it, and it was all upstairs. So it's just new. It's only here.
Well, see, I guess I don't understand that because, like, okay, I showed you guys the new buildings that are right next door.
Yeah.
That means you're gonna have all those same problems for this building goes up to how
Forever.
far?
We have 18 floors in our
And
current
those
building.
are 32, 33
Yeah,
floors.
everyone buying
Yeah.
it. Everyone would be
And
doing
have to
that
renovate
house.
every single
every
one.
I think they've pretty much sold.
But my point is, there's got to be an issue with structural integrity.
Yeah.
There's got to be. You don't have. I swear. I've seen contractors talk about wet walls and load-bearing walls too many times. What is happening inside of these Chinese homes?
I don't want to know.
Where
And there's no fire escape.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Because when we moved to we're on the 24th floor, and I'm like, I think if you die, like I'm a city girl, terrace house and all that, and I'm like, you just don't want to think about it. The only good saving grace about our apartment building is like the area around us is already built up. So there's a road in front, there's shops behind us. So there's no way another big building is going to pop up like the ones here because there's no place for it. So that's the saving grace.
Where are you now?
Sanctuary Square, but we're in the new buildings, Hyundai Yongan. So that's the good thing. It's a road in front, road at the back. No one's going to be digging up anything and building anything around.
That's what you think.
I know. They'll stop a road like that.
Don't say that. Don't jinx the whole thing.
They'll do it. I'm telling you.
Jinxing
They'll
the
do
whole
it.
thing. Don't
when
do
you're
anything.
here 2 years from now, you'll watch that building come up right next to you.
No.
That's how they do it.
No.
I'm telling you.
No.
I mean, this is open, but yes, they will. Shenyang. When we were in Shenyang, we were in there. Was it a hotel we were in?
Yeah, we stayed in that hotel.
And we were watching them building 24 hours a day. They never stopped. They just had shifts.
And it was like they had dug in they had this huge street between these hotels.
Yeah.
It might have been like a 4 or 5 lane road, but they had changed it from a road and it was going to be shopping.
Yeah.
And so they had dug this huge tunnel in the middle of the road, and they were building this building between the hotels.
Yep.
And it was the full length of the road.
Wow.
And we're just looking like, what in the world is this?
Yep. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But that's... And I was wondering about that. They are literally building up more stuff than the people than they have.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds weird, like how we're trying to, reach more, more capacity for people living in cities than the number of people in the country. But they're actually doing it because basically they're just taking people that live somewhere else in Senshui or around Senshui to come and say move into the buildings next to us.
Yeah.
These are not people. These are not new people.
New people.
So they're just moving.
Yep.
So wherever they're moving from, it's just going to be empty.
Right.
And it's like all they're doing is they're building in order to tear down.
Right.
It's a jobs program.
Yeah.
We
just
met
keep the
someone,
economy
our
going.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a jobs program.
Our second day here, first day here, we met this woman who owned an apartment in Times 2, and they came only on the weekends, but they owned another apartment in Guangzhou, and they worked in Guangzhou during the week, but they came to Sanshui on the weekends to relax.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's quiet.
In Sanctuary.
In Sanshui.
Our landlord owns 2 units because they're identical, and she lives with her friend in another apartment somewhere. That's how they do it. I don't know. But yeah, finding out about what an apartment looks like here is because our neighbor bought, and so the workers would leave the door open, so I'd go and peek in, and I was like, holy crap, it's empty, there's nothing in it. I'm like, no way.
Yep.
And that's how Nevis filled up everything else, filled in all the questions I had. I was like, oh my goodness. And now the drilling makes sense because we would be wondering what the hell would they be doing? Like, why would you need such heavy machinery just to do renovation? There's it doesn't sound right.
But it's all concrete.
It's all concrete.
Like
Sebastian used to go up and tell them shut it down because they would do it in the afternoon.
Saturday.
On
Saturday
Saturdays
morning
they're not
sometimes.
supposed to do it.
He'd go up and yell at them.
He'd go and yell at them.
They wouldn't really
Poor
listen.
Sebastian.
He would,
I hope,
and then he'd go
I
back
hope
up.
Sebastian is happy now. 'Cause he had a bad year last year.
Yeah. He was
Poor
very
guy.
frustrated. He was a very vocal guy as well, He,
But he's also the part of the. I mean, outside of you,
yeah.
he's part of the reason why we have the lists
Yeah. Yep.
because
Thank him for the list.
they're that idea of being really angry
Yeah.
at China.
Yeah.
I mean, you're angry at and honestly, like you guys know, this is not the worst side of China.
No, this is the pretty side.
This
of
is
China.
the not right. This is
Right.
the nice
China.
stuff.
You're in the
This
nicest
is-
part of
so-
China.
It's lovely. It's
Yeah, Guangdong is such a pretty.
And
Nobody
the
should
weather,
complain.
It's so much better. I mean, it's so much better. It's
Yeah.
so
It's
much
a good
nicer.
gig to get down here.
It's cleaner than the north.
Yep.
The people don't
Air
bother
pollution
you
is
as
not
much.
as bad.
Right, it's not as
bad,
bad. Yeah.
but it's not as bad.
It's not. It's
No, actually, it is bad. If
It
you
is?
look at it on a daily basis and you see what the air quality actually is here, it is bad.
I just don't.
But it doesn't look bad.
Right. It doesn't feel
It
the
doesn't
same
look
as it
and
does
feel
in the north,
bad,
but it
yeah.
actually is bad.
We got to a certain point in the year when the temperature was so hot outside that we didn't open the doors.
Yeah.
Aaron would open them first thing in the morning, but we had air conditioning pretty much 24/7 because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It was too much for me. But so we missed a lot of that poor air because we didn't have the doors open and the windows open.
Yeah. Well, we do the same. Yeah.
It's just too much.
It's funny though. I mean, 6 years I lived in Malaysia with a lot of other expats, and no one sits around and moans about Malaysia.
Right.
It's only a phenomenon that happens in China. You know,
We
we
moan
get
about
so
politics.
frustrated. It doesn't happen in other countries. I don't think when you guys were in Thailand,
Oh, it happens
you'd be
in
sitting
Thailand.
around going, "Man, this place fucking sucks." You know, like
You know what
wouldn't
you
be the same.
complain about in Thailand as an expat? Usually it's immigration.
Yeah.
Immigration. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Immigration
their
sucks.
immigration rules are all over the place and everybody is in some state of flux.
It changes
But
daily.
outside of that,
Yeah.
bad drivers, maybe?
Yeah.
Um,
Malaysia was
Yeah.
politics,
Chinese tourists.
Bad driving
bad
sometimes,
politics,
yeah.
a bit of racism in Malaysia, like
Same as in Thailand.
Yeah.
Thailand, yeah. But not complaining like
You're not
how we
complaining
feel.
about the country.
Yeah, not feeling like this is universally horrible. Actually, Malaysia's a nice place, like Thailand. It's
Yeah.
very nice.
People
place.
retire,
Oh, yeah.
people
Yeah,
start
people-
dying,
plenty of
people stay,
Aussies
people
go
die.
Yep.
People give up their citizenship
Few
for
frustrations.
first world countries.
You might
to
complain about your
stay.
boss or your school,
Yeah.
which is normal. You
Yeah.
do that probably in the
Yeah.
States as well, right? Like complain about the work life and all that. but
Oh yeah, sure.
It's normal.
Absolutely. But yeah, it is an interesting phenomenon. But that's kind of why you have to. It kind of feels like you need something while living in China. You need a way to decompress
Yeah.
because you're always getting so
Are you gonna have
bombarded
illustration to your story?
with mental mediocrity. What is what I call it. You're always being bombarded with national retardation. That you're literally sitting there and you're just like, you know what? Why am I here? Why am I putting myself through this?
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's why am I putting my family through it? But
And
Wait,
see, I don't
you
mind
know.
it because I don't work.
yeah, but that's only because you don't work now.
Right,
You
before-
worked before.
Before, like, I lost my mind one day, and I slammed the door, and a boss's door. I slammed it so hard, I thought I broke it off the hinges. I was so pissed. I just left. I was like, forget this nonsense. They can fire me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with this. And I'm usually a pretty go with the flow kind of person, but you just get to a breaking point where you're like, you want me to do this job, but you're not going to give me the tools to allow me to do the job, and then you're going to bitch that I'm not doing the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, I'll give you a bucket of chapstick to go for it. Just
That's not enough.
get it on my ass. I mean, it's just, but when we moved here, I didn't know I wasn't going to be working.
Yeah.
I didn't know until we got here that I wasn't going to be working.
Yeah.
So Aaron has these frustrations that I simply don't have.
Yeah.
Like, China for me is just China.
Yeah.
It's, I get to spend time with the children, which I absolutely adore. I enjoy being home with Aaron. When he doesn't have to go to school, it's like super holiday for me.
Yeah.
I don't have the stress he has,
Mhm.
which is probably the only reason he's lasted this long.
Mm.
Because I don't add to it
Yeah.
when he comes home.
Yeah, you'd be
So
both
both of you
both
had it,
frustrated.
yeah.
Right.
I don't think it will work if both people have it. It's the same with the two of us because he vents and he gets upset, but then I
Yeah.
deal with it. For me, it's
But we get
it's just
frustrated
trying
all
to-
the time. There's two of us.
and we
We
vent,
go.
to
We
each
get
other.
angry.
But I think I'm a little bit more calmer. I accept it. I mean, they're Chinese, so maybe
Yes,
I'm
but
Chinese.
But why do we allow them?
But see, that's part of the problem, and a lot of Westerners do this, and I've seen a lot of English and Americans do exactly what you just said.
Oh, for our
Let them off the hook.
yes.
No.
Everybody else.
the culture, the people around you, their parents, their grandparents, their aunts and uncles. Why are they not treated the same way?
Because if they're human, then why are they?
No. I'm saying, why aren't they held to the same standard?
You're preparing these things.
You see,
to go
the only reason that you would ever say
So they
they're not
should
held to the
enter.
same standard is that there's some way, in some way, lesser than.
People here.
The culture. The
They're
people
not
around
able
you, their
to.
parents, their grandparents.
You see?
their aunts and
They
uncles.
are
Why are
They are
treated the
able
same way?
to. That's the problem. If they
Just
weren't
so
able
they
to,
choose.
why would we be
No,
here?
I'm saying,
Making a
why aren't
choice
they
is not
held to
an
the same
ability.
standard?
And that's the difference.
See, the only reason that you would ever say they're not held to the same standard is that there's some way,
And I think that's
somehow,
where, as
in some way,
expats
lesser
who've been,
than.
outside of our home country for
They're
so
not
long,
able to.
we start
They're
getting
not able
frustrated
to.
when
But
See?
I
I think
see
that they are able to.
They are able
Come
to.
in.
That's the problem. If they
Because
weren't
they
able to,
choose.
why would
It's
we be
okay
here?
that they
Right.
do-
Making
no,
a
it's
choice is not an
okay
ability.
that they
Yeah.
do this. Give
And
it a
that's
year.
the difference.
And you're going to be spitting fire with us. Give it 4 years.
Right.
And you're going to be bald.
Um,
And I think that's
George
where,
Bush
as
W
expats
had a
who've been outside of our home
term
country
that
for
he
so
used,
long, we
and I
start
think
getting
it was
frustrated
the
when
soft
we see
expectations, the
newbies
soft.
come in.
Oh, what was it?
And they're
The
like,
soft
"Oh,
racism of
it's
low
okay
expectations.
that they do-" No, it's not fucking
And
okay
that's what
that
we
they
do when we
do
come
this.
to Asia.
Give it a year,
That's what we do
and
when we
you're
come
going
to
be
China.
spitting fire
Any
with us.
Western
Give it 4
culture
years,
that
and
comes
you're gonna be
into
bald.
Asia is always like, oh,
George
but
Bush
they're, it's like they're little puppies.
had a-
Oh, they can't, they don't understand. They're
term
just
that he used.
those little people that don't get it. It's like, no, they do. They're regular fucking human beings. Now,
Soft
why
racism
don't they
of low
understand?
expectations.
Because they were never taught.
Right.
That's
But
what
even
we
if
do
you
when we
teach
come
them,
to
they
Asia.
still
No,
That's
I'm
what
talking
we do
about
when we come to
culturally
China.
taught.
Any Western
They
culture
never
that
had
comes
the
into Asia is always
influences.
like,
So
oh,
then,
they're
like
like the
I
little
did it
puppy.
today.
Oh,
I
they
did it
can't- they
today
don't
just for you,
understand.
and
They're
you. I
just
did it
those
today.
little people that
I wrote
don't
the
get
word
it.
on the
It's
board.
like, no,
Logic.
They do. They're regular fucking human beings.
And I told them
Why
because
don't they
remember I told you we have a student that's leaving, and I told them
But even if you
you
teach them, they
must
still-
No,
learn
I'm talking
what
about
Western logic
culturally.
is, because if
They
you
never
don't,
had
you're always
the
going to be
influences.
other.
So then,
You're always going to
like,
be
I did
outside
today.
of our experience. You cannot go from Eastern culture to Western culture without an understanding of what Western culture is and what Western logic means.
Yeah, yeah.
And I told them,
If you do that, you're always
must
going to be sitting
learn
around
what Western
confused.
logic is.
And we
don't.
are always
You're
going to look at you
always
as
going to be
barbarian.
other. You're always going to be
You
outside
see,
of our
those that
experience.
don't
You
understand,
cannot
those
go
that
in-
don't speak
go
the language,
from
those that
Eastern
don't
culture
have the
to Western
capacity.
culture without an understanding
greatness.
of what Western culture
And it's so
is
funny, that's how they
and
do
what
it.
Western logic means.
Yes, but
If you
that's
do
how they
that,
see us.
you're always gonna
But
be
the
sitting
problem
around
is we come to their country knowing a whole lot about
are
them.
always
Right,
gonna be
and
And they don't
know
understand that.
barbarian.
Right, they know nothing.
Right.
Those that
Right.
don't understand, those that don't speak the language,
Yes.
those that don't have the capacity
Showing somebody else.
for greatness.
But it's so funny. That's how they view us.
Yeah, you flip that shit.
Yes,
That's how
but
they see us.
that's how they see us.
Yeah.
But the problem is we come to their country knowing a whole lot about them.
Yeah. Right. And they know.
And they don't understand
nothing.
that.
Right. They know nothing.
Right.
Like their own,
Right.
their own culture, their own festivals,
Yep.
and I'm
Yes.
like, yep, really?
I noticed that their geography, like just even
But he
showing
spoke,
somebody
and
like
he
a
had
video
to
and
say
see where's that person from.
Okay, that's it.
If they've got any type of dark skin, Africa.
Yeah.
Not
Everything's
even.
based on your
Yes, but now here's where I have a
I
problem.
showed a
Your skin color and your skin color and my skin color are almost exactly the same.
Zayn Malik.
Yeah.
So
Where's
now
he from?
they've labeled
He's
everybody
Yeah.
the same from the same place. But here's the funny thing,
But he
especially
spoke,
last year.
and he
I had
to-
multiple
Singing a song with
students
Right.
in that
Okay.
year 2 class that
And
were
then he's
darker
African.
than me.
Yeah.
But they weren't the other thing. They
Everything's
weren't.
based on
Why
your
would you
culture.
say he's
You
from
see,
Africa?
but no, but they weren't African.
Yeah.
But so if they were actually using skin color,
almost exactly the same.
then they would have been labeled African
So
too.
now
They don't
they've
see it
labeled
amongst
everybody
Right.
Yeah.
the same from the
Right.
same place.
Yes.
But here's the funny thing.
Have you been to museums here in
I had
China?
multiple
Yeah.
students.
When you go to a museum, no matter what the
They-
museum
they-
is and where
they
it
weren't.
is
They
in
were
China,
like the dwarves
there is
and
always
No, but they
a
weren't- they
picture
weren't African.
somewhere. It's
Yeah.
either in
But so if they
a
were
painting
actually
or
using
in some
skin
kind of
color,
sculpture where
then they
very
would have
dark
been labeled African
skinned
too.
people
They don't
are
see it amongst
there.
themselves.
It's
Right.
always there
Right.
somewhere.
Have you been to museums. here
Why
in
don't they
China,
talk about
Yeah.
that?
When you go to a
Well,
museum,
who are these
no matter
people?
what
Just like
museum,
the idea
what
of
museum is and
what are
where
the guys
it
that
is
fight
China,
in Japan?
There is always a
This-
depiction
Samurai.
somewhere. It's
In order to be a samurai, you had to be
painting or
African.
in some kind of sculpture.
They don't talk about
or
that
very
either.
dark
Not even in Japan.
skinned
They don't talk about the fact that their families had to be
Always
African
there
in order to
somewhere.
be
Somewhere.
samurais.
Why
But
don't they talk about that?
black is bad.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Just
White.
like the
White
idea
and
of,
white
what are the guys that
white skinned is good,
Samurai.
especially if they're this white
In order to
skinned
be a
of
samurai, you had to be
Beijing.
African.
You know, that northern,
Yeah.
Not even Japan. They don't talk about the fact
Faux
that their
white.
families had to be
because it's
African.
not white. Because if they were left naturally and they didn't use whiteners, they wouldn't be white.
Yeah.
Black is bad.
You know, which is funny to me. So
But they love
they're
it.
White
faux
and-
white, like faux
white-
leather. They're faux white,
White
but then
skin
that's the
is
thing. That's
good,
the sign of
especially
beauty
if they're
for all
white
Chinese,
skinned of
especially
Beijing.
women. All Chinese women inside of
You know,
China.
Northern.
Yeah.
All the billboards.
Yeah.
Because I used to when we were in
Faux
when we were in Benchi,
Because it's not white.
which is
because
in Northeast
if they were
China,
left naturally
which is
and they
also
didn't use
on the
whiteners,
other side of
they
the
wouldn't
wall.
be white.
People
Yeah.
don't talk about that
You know,
either.
It's funny to me.
This
So
is the
they're
people
actually
in Liaoning
faux white,
province are
like
this
faux
north
leather.
of the
They're
wall.
faux white,
They
but then
that
that's
part
the
of
thing,
China,
that's the sign of
they had all
beauty
these
for
billboards
Chinese-
around, but they
Chinese women.
didn't
All
even
Chinese
look like
women inside of
the people
China.
on the billboards.
Yep.
All the billboards.
Because Beijing is south
When
of there.
When we were in
And
when we were in
on the
Beijing,
inside of the wall,
which is
they
in
were on the
Northeast
outside of the
China,
wall. So
which
they're
is
more
also
Mongolian
other
than they
side
were
of the wall.
Han.
People don't talk about that either.
Right.
You know, even though the
This
last
is the
emperor
people
came from
in
the
Liaoning
Liaoning
province
province.
are the north of the
You know,
wall.
so they don't. It's like
that
all of
part
these
of
hypocrisies.
They had all these
Constant
billboards
hypocrisies
around.
inside
They
of China,
didn't even look
and
like
and they don't know how to do. I mean, they've got what 99 different ethnicities inside of China.
They were
One really big one, and then it's a whole bunch of really small ones.
Han.
I try to teach my kids
You
about
know, even though the last emperor came from
Right.
You know, so they don't. It's like all of these hypocrisies, constant hypocrisies inside of China, and they don't know how to do. I mean, they've got what 99 different ethnicities inside of China,
Yeah,
but one really big one, and then it's a whole
Yeah.
bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah,
small
that's true.
ones.
I try to teach them.
Honestly, I don't even think our classes that are here, they're not Han Chinese. There's only a few of them that are Han. The rest of them are the ethnicity of Thailand. That group of people, that's the group of people of southern China. Those are the original Cantonese people, are the people of
Mongolian.
what are in Thailand and then goes across all of southern China. That's the group of people. Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and southern China is all one large ethnicity.
Think about looking at the people in
That's the
Thailand.
group of people of southern
And
China.
then think about-
Those are the original Cantonese people.
Think about
Are
how
the
similar
people
their
of-
features are.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Are in Thailand and then goes across.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
call
because they
themselves
don't
Han,
know.
but only some of them are Han. Because if you look at them phenotypically, they're not Han. You look at me like, yeah, you don't look like anybody from the north. Like you don't look like Beijing people.
Right.
You don't look
Think
anything
about
We
like
were-
people in Thailand.
We were in
And then think
Disneyland
about
this summer. Aaron and I were just
Think about how similar
yeah,
their
and we were
features
sitting
are.
there
Right.
for the
But I
second
still
time.
claim to
the
be
second
Han
time.
now.
This
Without
year,
children.
second time this year.
Without children, but we were
Because if
sitting
you
in
look
this
at
theater
them,
waiting for all these people to,
they're
like,
not
to show the
Han.
stuff,
They're
and I'm
like,
looking at all
you
these
don't
people,
look
and
like
I
anybody
could
from the north. You
tell
don't look like Beijing.
based on their
Right,
shape
but they don't get them.
We
pretty
were
much from where they
were
were
in,
because we've been in three parts of the
Disneyland
country
this summer.
now.
Aaron and I were
You know,
just
we've been in the
Disneyland.
Northeast, we've been in
And we
Central,
were
now we're in the
sitting
South,
there,
and you can tell. But then when they
the second
speak,
time.
This
you
Without
year,
really
children.
know
Second time this
where they're
year.
from
Without children,
based on,
but we were
you know,
sitting in
their
this theater
accents or
waiting for all
whatever.
these people that like
And it's
showed
just
us
really
stuff,
crazy
and I'm looking
because
at all these people and I could tell
Before we
based
came to
on
China,
their
I'm like,
shape,
oh, you know, we would see
pretty much from
people when we
where they were
first
because
got
we've
here, we're
been
like,
in
oh, they
three
just look
parts of the
American to
country
us.
now.
Right.
Because
You know,
there
we've been in
is
Northeast,
no,
we've been in Central, now we're in the South.
everybody
and
just
you
looks
can
American.
tell.
There
But
isn't
then
one.
when they
There isn't
ethnicity
just
in
a
America.
look,
You
you know.
really know
And so,
where they're from.
But now,
based
it,
on, you
when
know,
we
their
go to
accent
different places, I can tell. Oh, they're
And it's just
Korean.
really crazy
oh, they're
because-
Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, they're you know
Before we came
right.
to
Well,
China,
I don't know
oh,
any
you know,
Thai. I haven't met any Taiwanese yet, but they're Thai or you know they're Burmese. Because in Phuket there are a lot of Burmese.
Everybody just looks American.
Yeah, they're the ones
There isn't just
doing all
They
the
do
work.
all the work.
You know.
The Thais
And
don't
so-
do the work.
But
The
now,
the Burmese do the work.
They do all the hard work.
They're Korean. Oh, they're Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Taiwan.
you know. Right. Well, I don't know any Thai. I haven't met any Taiwanese
Yep.
yet.
Yep.
But they're Thai or you know they're Burmese.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you see a truck and a whole bunch of people standing in the back of it going somewhere,
With a yellow
they're
on their
Burmese.
face.
They do all the work.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thais don't do the work.
Yep.
Yep.
Usually have that.
They do all the
powder
hard
on
work.
their paste
We
on their
were in
face.
Chiang Mai.
I think
recently,
it's
and
funny
they
that-
were all, a lot
that-
of them were Burmese
and-
or from Isan.
It's so
province.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
it's
Yep.
super sad.
And it cools them.
It's super sad. I don't understand why this is. Hopefully it's
Yellow on
not
their face?
Yeah.
Europe. It might
Darker
be,
skin and-
Under my passport.
but
Usually have that
The
powder.
paste,
powder
yep,
yeah,
yep.
paste on
every
their face.
culture
I think it's funny
has
that,
a
and
some kind of
So
dislike
it's-
for
it's-
those
yeah,
in
it's
their
super
culture that are
sad.
darker
Cool
skinned.
them.
it's super
So,
sad.
for example,
I don't understand
you go to
why
Italy,
this is.
then you go to
Hopefully
Sicily.
it's not.
Once you go to Sicily, they are treated totally different because they are darker skinned than the Italians, and they're not treated around the world like Italians. They're treated like Sicilians.
My grandmother's Sicilian.
Yeah, but too bad you
Some
didn't
kind
get
of
the dark.
dislike for
Then
those
you go to Spain.
that are darker.
Spain, if you go around
So,
different
for
people
example,
from different parts of the
Go
world,
to Italy.
they will tell you that Spain is
Yeah,
not even
right, yeah,
in
yeah.
Europe.
Once you go to Sicily, they are treated totally different.
They're not
And
even
they are
a
darker
part
skinned
of
than the Italians,
Europe
and they're not treated
because
around
of the
world
Moorish
like
influence.
Italians. They're treated like
If you go to
Sicilians.
Haiti,
My grandmother's Sicilian.
Yeah, but
they have the same problems. Jamaica has the same problems with color, with darker versus lighter. Yes.
they will tell you that Spain is not even in
Yep.
Europe.
So you're talking about all over the world, the exact same.
A part
Um,
of Europe
Yep.
because of the Moorish.
Yeah.
Influence.
Yep.
If you go to Haiti,
How do you know?
they have the
How do you know
same
it's
problems. Jamaica
Yeah.
has the same problem.
India.
Color.
India exactly the same.
Darker versus lighter.
People in the
Yes.
south of India, darker, not as sophisticated or whatever they believe.
So you're talking about all over the world, the exact same.
Some belief.
You
really.
like jewelry.
The same prejudice.
Yeah.
She's inherited.
The exact same prejudice between darker skin and lighter skin.
Yeah.
Inside of all these different
And it's often
cultures.
the north and the south, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
funny. It's
Yeah.
often, it
Yep.
just so happens, geographically,
Yep.
it's usually the north and the south.
Yep.
Southern being
Well, then you
darker,
have to remember,
the northern being fairer.
But north is up,
Yeah.
south is down, up is good, down is bad.
That's not good for New Zealand.
Right. In
With
New
the
Zealand,
bottom-
it should be opposite.
Yeah. With the
In
bottom
Australia,
down.
it should be opposite. It
Yeah.
should be south is good.
Yeah.
But when you look at the map,
True.
who's on top?
Yeah. And that's why Aussies give us a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're above us.
Yes. Yes.
Well, you just came across it.
The only problem is if you look at the Earth from space, there is no.
Oh, he had one.
Yes, but it all depends on your orientation.
Where your
Because
space-
you ever notice that whenever you see the Earth from space, the northern hemisphere is always in the north. It's always up.
They always put it the right way.
Right. They always put it the right way, even though they might be turning, or their orientation might be opposite, and then they're rotating around. They will always
Flip that picture.
flip the picture so that it's always one way. And there's been, I know there was some kind of study or something that happened where what happened. I have a map. If I remember, I'll print it out for you. I have a map somewhere that shows
You know exactly what you want.
Australia. It shows the world
The other way around.
the other way around, but all the words are right. So Australia's in the north,
Every single day.
and then the words are the right orientation for it to be in the north.
Yeah.
And what would that have meant if the world thought of
Those are yours.
all of the things that are in the southern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, and all of Europe being in the south, and what that would have meant to the entire world. Because north is up, north is good, up is better, down is bad, God is up, God is in heaven, devil is in down. I mean, once you put all those words on it, all of a sudden it makes sense that this is why Europe does what Europe does.
New Zealand's doing very well.
Yes.
We're like the
top of the heap.
king of the world.
Yes. Except for the penguins.
Yeah.
Penguins are on top of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing idea to think about how we view ourselves inside of our countries, and just flipping the map changes everything about how we think of ourselves and our place in the world.
Over the years from New Zealand, but yeah.
Let's use your bathroom if you don't mind.
Right there to the right.
Just there.
Ladies, why are we into jewelry mode?
Because
You were talking about Liaoning. You were talking about Liaoning, and all the green jade comes from Liaoning province.
So it sprung into a different topic.
Yeah, I get that, but you know.
So if you ever want to buy jade, you don't buy it from Beijing.
Oh God, if you go to Beijing, you're gonna get raped.
Don't buy it
Absolutely
here.
raped.
So pretty.
You buy it in Liaoning province, and you get it for super, super cheap.
On the street.
On the street for cheap.
Don't ever buy jade anywhere but Liaoning province.
Well, green jade. White jade you can get from Beijing.
Yes, but it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg and a person.
Yeah, that's true. But green jade is super cheap in the
you
north.
almost got sold.
No, I did.
Yeah, we almost sold you so that Mommy could have some jade boat.
But then I missed my snuggles, so.
You almost got sold, man. You would have been. Remember that big jade boat we saw? They'd have taken that out of the case, put you in it, put an apple in your mouth. It'd have been great.
And then I took sparkly,
Yeah, because that's the last thing Mama needs is a giant
Jade
boat.
boat.
She's very creative. She's really good with art.
Oh, so y'all are
could
done?
actually
Y'all don't want
just
to talk
do it.
anymore? You don't want? You
You
want?
should keep carrying on.
You got nobody else to pub? You got nobody else to talk about?
I have no more publicity for
What?
the day.
Yeah.
You know, we've been going for almost 2 hours and 36 minutes. You telling me that you have nobody else to talk about?
I don't. I have a few
Oh,
friends
this
that
is
I've
really pretty.
asked for information, but they haven't gotten it to me yet.
well, you can go again. Anybody
Carry
in the
on.
folder?
Oh,
Carry on the whole
okay.
Very nice fudge,
You want
by the
free
way,
fudge?
Karen.
What-
Very
Brownies.
nice. Yeah, brownies. Sorry,
Vegan brownies.
brownies. Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so let's do Steve the Medium. Steve the Medium.
Oh, the guy that's gonna save you.
The guy who's going to teach me how to drive via Skype. No.
Oh, my.
Steve the Medium does private readings, group readings, parties, venues, and gallery readings, spiritual guidance, classes, workshops, and mentoring.
What did I say Steve was gonna do for you?
He was going to teach me to drive.
Oh, he was gonna make it so we could ride in the car with your mother without us grabbing onto the things and being so scared. That's what he was gonna do. I remember now.
Because Steve the Medium can bring you comfort and healing.
Right.
One more. No.
I can feel
You don't
comfort.
mind if I drink?
He
Finally.
is certified evidential medium. And the readings can be done via phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, or
That's
in
why you have to
person.
contact him so that when you do start driving again and we all have to ride with you, we'll feel so much better.
Yeah.
You can find
Our life
Steve
choices
the
will be
Medium.
validated.
How bad's the driving?
It's not.
What?
You
What?
can
Say
find
that.
Steve
Wait. What did you just say?
My driving
What was
is
your
not
question?
bad.
How bad's your driving?
Oh, it's so bad that we say that she uses the Force.
Yeah.
You know, like Star Wars, the Force.
It's
Yeah,
not bad.
Karen uses the Force.
It's bad.
Let's get back to
We
Steve.
we said what was it? 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago.
Okay.
I asked when was the last time you drove me anywhere,
Right.
and she said the last time I drove.
The last time I drove you.
Right.
You can.
It ain't gonna happen again.
When was it though? Can you remember the last time?
It was
It was
Somewhere in
Pra-
Thailand.
somewhere in Thailand,
Okay.
on the wrong side of the street.
with the wrong side of the car.
Oh my God. It was not cool. It was like I was white knuckling riding. You're supposed to white knuckle driving.
Yeah.
I was white knuckling riding. Like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get home safe. Yeah, it's like, it is that bad.
I mean,
It is that
If I
bad.
was in front of
They would be in the back seat. They didn't see the danger they were actually in.
Okay.
Let's get back to Steve.
Steve, we need your
You
help.
can find Steve at stevethemedium.com, or his email is Steve Dultmeyer, D as in David, ULTMEIER @gmail.com, and on the Facebooks, Steve the Medium at Steve Dultmeyer Medium.
All right, so then Aaron wants to promote his stuff, so let's see what he's got. We need to get him to fill out a thing that we can do it when he's sleeping, because he's always sleeping. All right, Aaron, come to the microphone. Talk to the people.
You can find me on YouTube at Professor Raptor 25.
So
On
the drop
Facebook,
you
Aaron
spent
M.
time
Far
making
2.
it all pretty, and then you
On
never know.
Twitter at Professor Raptor 25.
It's too pretty.
Instagram Professor Raptor 25, and on
This is my
DeviantArt ProFraptor 25.
What do you do? Why are they coming to see
I
you?
put art things on all of my stuff.
Art things.
don't you also do
Drawings.
videos?
You
Yes,
on art?
on art videos.
Yeah, he's doing it about art.
Okay.
And I put some music that I've made on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes, music is on the. Do you put video with your music?
I just have the album cover with a static picture for the music.
All right, that it?
Yep, that's
All right,
it.
cool.
I have been plugged.
He plugged himself, which is probably
Not a
terrible.
great way
I remember a story sometime in the '80s where a guy plugged himself with a gerbil.
Oh, God.
Yes, it happened. It was a real thing.
Didn't they say, was it Richard Gere or
Yeah,
was it?
yeah,
Richard
back in
Gere?
the '80s and '90s. Yes.
Yeah.
People believe that.
But there was a real news anchor who actually had a gerbil up his ass.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Philadelphia. Real news anchor. Like the guy that you always saw on TV had to go to the emergency room, and that's how everybody found out that he was into a little bit of freaky stuff, and he had gerbils in his ass.
Oh my.
Oh my. Gerbils.
Oh, that's
Whole mammals inside of his ass.
Why though?
Apparently it was a good time for all. It was a no. He had
Yes, exactly.
it was a good time for everybody. I mean, everybody had a good time.
Not the gerbil.
Apparently the gerbil was fine. They weren't dead.
Oh.
So what? They're in
They thrived.
Apparently they had they enjoyed the darkness. I guess I don't know.
Oh.
No, what? You yanked them up by the tail like a tampon.
I don't know. I cannot give you details because this is outside of my experience. I just know that this guy, the same story you're talking about, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that why I heard one dude? He was playing a game and he's like, "I'm sweating like a gerbil in a news set." Is that why?
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, I didn't get that.
I'm telling you, it's real stuff.
The things that they learn on the YouTube.
Yes, but I lived through that. I remember that when the guy was on the news one night, and the next night it was, he went to the hospital and he won't be back kind of thing. And, in the 80s, they were terrible about stuff like that. Like, people would just stop being on TV. They didn't do a good job of explaining.
He
like
had the gerbil up his ass when he
Right.
was reading the news.
No, he had the dribble up his ass
After.
with his, friends or whatever that like to put gerbils up asses.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing. It's funny.
That is just weird.
Yeah.
So what else you guys got? That's it? That's all you got? That's all we got? There's nothing else? You're tapped out on China? I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Savina left us long ago. She went to art. She went to jewelry. She's like off in a whole nother place.
She went to brownies.
Yeah.
Right.
Brownies,
She's already eating brownies.
And
She's
then
already gone into the
jewelry.
comfort food.
Right. She's in comfort food part of the show.
She doesn't even have the comfort food yet.
You guys you've barely cracked your second bottle.
Yeah, well, Savina's
I know she's over there
She's
bullshitting.
not joining me.
I mean, I've done my duty tonight. You know, this was a brand new bottle when I met it this afternoon.
Mrs. Gabby?
It was.
Yeah.
I
What
walked
did she talk
all
about?
the way to the mall, all 5 minutes of it. I
Don't
sent,
you like the convenience of walking out of here and walking over there?
I sent Aaron a text and said, I'm walking.
Right.
And when I got home, I sent him a text and said, I'm home. It was literally 59 minutes
Yeah. Wow.
to go, shop, and return.
Where did you used to get stuff before this?
Bus
Plaza.
Is she American?
Bus Friday.
Taobao.
Yes, I did a lot of shopping at the Salisbury Plaza though, and I haven't been back since.
There's no
They
light.
opened up.
Well, there is because there's a nail place over here.
Ah.
You can go on down there, get on the bus.
Yeah. That's
I
your
really
idea.
need
Like
to
Spike Lee
get
said,
done.
get on the bus.
I need my toes done.
How do you get that?
Get on the bus. It's right there, across the street.
Yeah.
You can go tomorrow.
Yeah.
I haven't been on the city bus since we got back from Hong Kong. We went one time, and that's the last time I've been on the bus
Looks like the Rolling Stones.
since August.
hmm I wish I could say that, but I get on every damn day.
Every day.
Even though that, you know that every day I get on the bus, that the school's van comes like 2 or 3 minutes after the 658 bus comes.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't wait for it
Okay.
because by the time they get to the school, they park on that other side. It
By the time
actually,
you walk.
yeah, and I have to walk up to my office.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
It's longer. You don't get there till like 7:30 because they don't pick up till like 7:15. And
But
that
they leave the
15.
square at 7 o'clock. Why did
Oh,
they
that's what they said, and that's what they were doing at the beginning
Yeah,
of the
dream-
school year.
Now?
Now it's like
A
7:15ish,
friend at university used to do that.
and then they get caught in all that traffic under the bridge.
Pretty
Right,
dark.
right, right.
Whereas when
My friend
it's
used to do
early in the
also-
morning,
he used to have
that
some
traffic
like-
is minimal.
Like a
Yeah.
nightmare,
Yep.
and then you like draw
It's
the
like
picture.
10 minutes, and all of a
Afterwards,
sudden
you
it's
paint it or
mayhem,
art.
and you can't
Very
get
similar
through.
like that. It's a good thing to do.
China, gotta love China.
Better dream, maybe.
China and its freaking construction, boy. They don't
Stuff.
they don't know how to route
Watercolor
traffic.
pencils.
They don't
They don't know how to
It's nice. I like that.
plan.
make sure that when heavy times are going to happen, that they're prepared for those heavy times. Whether it's kids going to school, kids leaving school,
Doesn't matter.
they don't have. They're not ready for that. You know that Friday, last Friday,
Yeah.
when you guys barely made it on the bus,
Yep.
Yeah.
as soon as we pulled off, another bus pulled up right behind us and started loading kids,
Lovely.
Please.
which is interesting to me.
Guess they didn't bother
So
doing
wasn't-
that earlier.
Wasn't necessary for us to cram on like that.
No. It was necessary because you know you
The other one we feel like
you needed
pretty fast.
you needed
Yeah.
you know me
The
to
other one
talk
was
to
just
you as
as
you
bad.
rode and stood.
Yeah.
I don't miss those days. In Wuhan, all the buses are like that.
Yeah.
Every bus you get on is like that. I don't know that I was ever on a bus for longer than one stop where it was just a handful of people.
Well, that's good.
Every single time you got on the bus.
Yeah.
Female
It's terrible.
form.
Because they didn't have enough.
Great.
Enough buses for the people.
Yeah. But they had the metro.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to take a bus to get to the
When's
metro.
the
So what's the point?
You got the mail? Mail hasn't been finished.
Nope. Very difficult to do buses.
All right, are you guys done? You done talking to the people?
Yeah, I think
You got
so.
anything that I mean? I know you don't have a Facebook page. Do you have Instagram or Twitters or anything that you want to say? If they need to, if people want to contact you about Malaysia and living in China,
We've gone off the grid.
where do they contact you?
Do you have my face page?
Oh God,
Email address.
nobody talks about MySpace anymore.
I don't have that either.
You have nothing. You have you are off the grid for real.
I have an email address.
Oh no,
You
you
like
don't want
And
to
a
give that out.
phone
do you?
number that I've had for
Okay,
like
you don't
20
want-
years.
Don't give out your phone number.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I just
I like the same number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm like the easiest person to find. Yeah.
If you know it.
I know.
No.
That's cool.
If you
Do
don't
you
know
want
it,
to study
then-
out?
yeah.
Kyle, what do you have? Anything in the Facebook, people can get in contact with you?
I do use Facebook.
Good.
I don't really check it while I'm in
Oh,
China.
no.
Oh, no.
I use it when I'm back in civilization.
Do you want people to contact you about living in... Because you live... Where's home for you?
That's a good question.
No, where's home?
My home would be... I got 2 homes.
Pick one.
One is Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and the other one would be
Northland.
Kerry, Bay of Islands in New Zealand.
All right, so
Is that
New
north or
Zealand
south?
or
North,
Malaysia?
north, yeah.
So snow there or no snow there?
No snow at all.
No.
It's the hottest region of New Zealand. Right at the tip of the country.
Ooh. I like it already.
I don't know where my cousin lives.
I don't
I
care.
think he lives in the south part.
In the South,
That's
South
cold.
Island.
My
that's the
my
cold
aunt's in
area.
Christchurch.
I don't want the
So
cold
the
area.
South Island is the cold area, but then
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
north part
The
is
northern
hot.
part, and then the north it can be very cold as well, but the southern part of the North Island. I live at the tip of the North Island.
And that's the hottest.
It's
Yeah.
warm, yeah. It's like Guangzhou. It's never snows.
It's just a bit wet. Cold.
10 degrees Celsius,
That's
maybe
it.
as cold as it gets. That's awesome. That's great.
10 degrees sounds kind of cold.
That's
Let's do
awesome.
a little translation for 10 degrees.
10 degrees is cold.
10 degrees in winter.
like
In
that.
winter,
In
it's
winter.
about as
Well, I'm saying it's cold.
10 degrees
You're
Celsius.
going to put on a
But no
jacket.
snow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
50.
Right. Cold.
I'm
The
not talking
coldest
about
it got
cold.
here in
Karen,
Sunshine was
Karen,
45.
don't you start.
And I was
Your Michigan card has already been freaking
revoked.
revoked.
They tore it up,
Explain.
shredded it.
Because
threw it
you
away.
just told us on the other day, 72, 73, you were bundling it up.
I had
So you're not talking about now a 20-degree drop from that.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah, but even when we were at grandma's, like I had to put out the trash cans on Tuesdays, and it was like in the 40s.
In the summer. But that's
Yeah.
Michigan. That's Michigan.
So,
Okay.
so you're talking 10 degrees in the winter.
In the winter, yeah.
They're in the summer,
Yeah.
and it was less than 10 degrees.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Grandma was talking about it's nice out there. Eat sweater now.
So if it's 40 degrees, it's 4 Celsius.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
In the summer.
And that was in the
Never
summertime in
winter, it
Michigan.
wouldn't even get down to that where I'm from. That's great.
Usually that's fall in Grand Rapids, though.
So why, with all of the
Yeah,
brain drain that New Zealand has experienced, why not go back? Aren't there programs to entice you back?
New Zealand, our population is only 4 million.
Yeah.
So it's very competitive for jobs and all that. Like
All the jobs in
teaching, for
Australia,
example,
yeah.
like I would be competing with New Zealanders who maybe have masters in education and all that. We got such a small amount of jobs with such a small population that it's
I
it's
think
difficult.
you'd be surprised.
But
I
they're
get-
doing so much in trying to get people from outside of New Zealand.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
emails every day for jobs in New Zealand,
Really?
teaching jobs.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Seriously, yeah.
Lists of jobs in New
What,
Zealand.
teaching, education, or
Teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mum told me that just recently. We
Must
talked
be,
to her
yeah.
mum, and she said, New Zealand's really looking for teachers.
Yeah, they've
They're
been
trying to-
advertising on
Yeah.
different radio programs and things, and I actually, when we lived in Phuket, someone
Yeah.
was talking about how they were trying to entice people to come back to New Zealand, and there were programs to get people to come back and teach because
Yeah.
they were so
Yeah.
they had so few teachers.
Yeah. And you've got to also have qualified teaching status, QTS.
Yeah.
Would you have that, or
We
'Cause
wouldn't
I
have
don't-
it. We wouldn't have it
Yeah.
for the British system. No,
Yeah.
there's no way.
yeah?
However, Aaron is actually qualified to teach ESL in New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
What does that
without,
mean? A
ESL.
degree?
you have a bachelor's
do it-
degree
you get-
and you have experience
Yeah.
teaching abroad.
You can get an ESL job. Yeah.
You can get an ESL job without any problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could do is teach like pre-K,
Right.
which is what my specialty is anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wouldn't have a
Yeah,
problem with
what
that.
stopped me from going back is because I heard there's a lot of teaching jobs, but I would have to go back to university for one more year to get
QTS.
QTS. It's called a postgraduate diploma in primary teaching, and that's 1 year to do that. If I want to be a high school teacher, it's ridiculous. I have to go back for 3 years.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And you've been teaching for how many years?
Oh,
Since
6,
Six.
9 years, right?
When did you first come? When did you come down? You're an old man.
9 years. I haven't been in New Zealand for 9 years, so I must have been teaching for 9 years.
Yeah,
The whole
about
time
9.
I was
Wait.
away, I've been teaching. So yeah,
That's
9
funny.
years. Yeah, but New Zealand government is very strict on that.
Yeah,
You
they keep
have to-
changing.
It would be much like the States, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a degree in education, and then like a postgrad for me.
Right,
I
you have
do
to
a
have your
postgrad.
certification.
The last time we were back,
Yeah.
remember your friend? She lost her job after teaching
Yeah.
at the high school
That's
for so
right.
long because
Yeah.
they changed the laws
They
and she
changed the
didn't
law.
qualify.
She didn't
And
qualify.
she lost her
Yeah.
job, so they
She had
changing
experience
the
and this and that and a degree.
but they changed some
maybe
sort
a
of rule
TEFL
and she
certificate,
didn't
something
have
like what we've got.
something and
But
she
then
lost
you-
her job.
They made it
So,
even stricter, and then she lost her job.
yeah. And
And
so
she
now
couldn't- she
maybe the
wasn't licensed.
latest is about,
Yeah.
with so many of them losing their jobs, she went into rearing bees and producing honey.
So
That's what
we,
she
we
went
could
into.
we could definitely teach ESL for sure.
Mm.
Teaching adults in language centres in Auckland and the big cities,
Yeah.
they have them. A lot of Chinese students and Arab
Right.
students come
Mm.
over. But that's it. But if we want to teach in actual
Yeah.
government school,
Right.
then we have to have the QTS.
And they did
That's
say
what's
the
stopping
shortage is mainly at like Maori settlements and stuff, like so in those really rural areas and stuff like that. That's where they're lacking teachers, not in really big cities and
Yeah.
stuff. So
And then, I mean, if you go to New Zealand, a lot of people say that you have to maybe do something you wouldn't be qualified to do. For example, agriculture or farming or whatever. You know, one of the areas that New Zealand is famous for. I'd end up going
They're
back
sheep.
in, sheep,
Yep.
sheep farming, yeah.
Sheep
Up
and
north
their
is-
butter. And
Yeah, or kiwi fruit.
kiwi fruit.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to work in kiwi fruit and oranges, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've done that way. So if I went back to New Zealand, I'd probably find myself in a job like that.
Yeah.
Or go back to study for a year and get QTS. But that's the hurdle.